Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. In the last video I had a lot of comments about this intersection right here. I'm not going to say anything other than you see what you want to see, alright? Let's leave that be. Over here, the only thing that I've done I think in between episodes, apart from having the game run for a while, is filling a few more trees around here. So the reason that I am now recording is just to let you know that I plan on doing a live stream, and then when I next record I'll be showing you the progress that we made. So my plan is to develop this area down here, set up some public transport for it, and try and develop a few ideas which I'm not going to go into detail on that stream, and hopefully be able to make something that looks a little bit more interesting than what we've done so far, just down in this area. If any of that will happen, I don't know. But if you're interested in seeing that live stream, my second channel is where it will be uploaded to, so you can find that in the description box. But anyway, this is just me bringing in the episode here, and as you know, we're going to do a live stream, and then I'll be back with you. Alright, so the live stream is over. It's now the morning, the next day. I've probably got a healthy dose of morning voice, and I've got a lot of things to show you, because there are a lot of things that we did in this stream. I want to start off with this road over here. I think I actually talked about this in a previous episode. We had some traffic problems developing down here, and they have been well and truly fixed. But how they were solved, I think, is a good lesson for you guys. So, let's pick a road that can go underground. This road here used to turn off and connect at this point, and then the exit road was over here. Yet we had this shortcut, so if you were coming through this way, is it me or do they go a little bit slow there? I might need to correct that road. If you're coming through this way and you're taking the exit out, you're never going to use the next turning because this already has a shortcut to that road. So there's a lot of lane switching that goes on over here, and the traffic gets crossed over. So by doing it like this, it just flows so much more smoothly. And then over here we added a little shortcut which is very popular, and it allows traffic to distribute into this part of the city. So that's one of the things that we did. We also built a new intersection over here. Now we went through the whole bunch that I selected from the workshop. There's loads of them here, and some of them are pretty bizarre. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it used some sort of custom roads from a mod, although that's kind of what the screenshot shows you, isn't it? Who knows? And then there's ones like this which are just crazy, but I did find some good ones. And we got this one here which I didn't like because it sort of does a U-turn or like a bend in the middle of going straight over. This is the one that we actually ended up selecting, and we've got another one over here which I really like. It just sort of turns off to the wrong direction there, but doesn't that look cool? I want to make use of that at some point. That's a nice one. So anyway, this has been installed over here, which is just, you know, what we had before. Looks pretty ugly and messy. And then the other thing that we've done is we've named every single district. Now I'm going to go through them all one by one. We got Cloel or Coal Fields, I don't know how to say that word over here, and Strawberry Fields. These are just names that people were suggesting. Some of them don't have a lot of meaning, some of them do. Like over here we got Joe Hills in an area where there's no hills. That's a reference to one of our friends on Hermitcraft. And in the stream we were building some walls, which you're going to see in a short while. And we got lots of Trump jokes in chat. So we decided to call this Trump Town, and then over this one it's Uptown Trump. I think that's a play on Uptown Funk. And then going over to this area, we have 4 districts here. Orsa, Mora, is it Fallon, and Malung, which are all named after Swedish cities. We've got Tango Hills, a reference to Tango Tech. We've got Green Terrace, which is this big area over here. I should probably show you the zones like this as well, just so you can see. Every single one of these has been named. We've got Trade Strip, because we have this long strip of like commercial buildings, so they could be like trading buildings. I don't know. Central Services was already named, and then we've got Southfields, Albion Hamlet, and Messyville over here, which is a reference to Messi, the footballer from Barcelona, and obviously what the new camp there. And then we've got Little Assam. Assam is a type of tea that I drink, so that's a cool one. Over on this side we've got Fosbury, a reference to my friend It's Fozzie. We have Farmville over here because we've got some agricultural stuff. Salem, and then we have Nenimus Anno. I'm not sure what that means at all, I just like the way it sounded. Over here we've got Notch Square, the creator of Minecraft, a little tribute to him. And then Robinswood Business Park. Yeah, I like that. It's like fairly wooded, and yeah, the name just sort of worked. Factorio, reference to another game I play. Alta Vista, Cypress Park. This one hasn't actually been named. Central Park. The T-Towers, because we've got some big towers there. And over here we got Montreal? Quarter? Montreal? I can't remember how to pronounce it. Up on this side, we've got the Redstone campus. This is like our little educational bit. And behind it, Sakura Heights. And that's everything. Everything but this over here, which doesn't have a district. Oh yeah, and in the stream, 2 of these went missing at the same time. I'm a little bit worried about how they decide to just pop off and disappear. But anyway, since then the city's been fine. We've seen a lot of industrial shrinkage, but the population has sort of stayed roughly the same, which is a little bit mysterious to me. And I think maybe adding in some public transport might help people get over there, so that's something I want to look into, more subway lines. So anyway, coming down to this area, this is the main thing we focused on, which was developing this area. Over on this side, if you have a look, we've got Backgardens. Can you see the fences, although they're actually like brick walls? Actually, no, I think they're hedge walls. Yeah, and it was like a little bit of an experiment, and I think it turned out good. But we're going to focus on this area here, first of all. So what we went for is plot sizes that were just too big. Like, well, not too big. They weren't that big at all. They were just 2 by 2. So lots of little homes, and to be fair, it looked pretty good when it was building up because you had these smaller, larger ones in the middle, these ones, which looked alright, but then lots of these types kept popping up and they just looked the same all the way down the street. So that didn't end up too good. It'd be nice to lock them to the smaller size. But yeah, it's just quite different because the houses are generally smaller, but they look nicely spaced out and there's less traffic going through here, and it all worked out pretty good. And then we just like threw in a load of trees around this. We've also put this like divider down the side here, and I need to continue this tree line like all the way down, although if I'll bother to do that or not, I'm not sure. And then over on this side is where we did all of the gardens. So what we did is we got this massive hedge like object. If I press B, you can see me select it and just sort of zone out back gardens. Now some of them, as you can see over here, they don't actually have walls at the back. They didn't look as good. A tree line looked much better. And so each one's sort of divided up, and it looks pretty cool from up above. You can see some of them over here did have, back gardens, like fences there, and it didn't look quite as good. Then when it came to these middle ones, you can see what we've done. We sort of put them back to back. There's a couple of like open areas, like just here. Then this bit was going to be quite big, so we decided to make the back gardens small and have a little path going through and just like a little tree area in between the houses. And then around these sides, you can see we've just filled in the outside areas with trees. And I reckon it has turned out, pretty good. I like how it looks. It was a bit of an experiment. I reckon you could probably do a better job yourself. And that, I believe, is actually everything that we did during the live stream. So the next thing we're going to focus on is this area over here. This game really needs a way to manipulate where zones are, because you've got to put down a path like that if you want to make the zone behind a little bit bigger. That's kind of silly. Yeah, it'd be nice to have like invisible paths, or just some way to say, hey, actually we want to build with these blocks, because the path is also blocking off our potential to build here. But there you go. That's just how it is. I also love this game of just like waiting for the electrical areas to link up, and it's like really satisfying when the last building emerges and it all sort of comes together. What we're going to do in this area, by the way, I don't really have like too much of an idea like we did down here where we lay out things differently, or like this actually, we did 2 very different layouts. I am going to include some more smaller buildings, and as they develop, like when there's one there, I'll zone out that area. Actually, that means I can zone out that as well. Yeah, but then over where we have the bigger roads, that's where we're going to have the high density stuff, and we're going to be throwing in high density shops in the middle of it as well. So that's the kind of like twist, I guess, we're putting on this area. It's going to be a lot more built up and a lot more together. I think another thing we're going to do here is install some subways. I often neglect, as many of you point out, some public transport, but we can squeeze them into this area, and they do provide noise. However, it's in commercial. It does kind of overlap into this a little bit. But what I'm thinking is we can have a line that sort of goes between these 3 places. Now that's residential, commercial and offices, so that going back and forth is probably a really good idea. But I'm also thinking maybe if we have a sort of circular... Do you know what? We've got a lot of like silly little paths and everything everywhere that this is going to clash with. Oh my god, this is actually going to be a real pain to figure out, isn't it? But I'll figure it out. We'll probably have like one over here and one over there as well somewhere, and then just make it go in a big circle. And then at some point we should probably set up something to just like go between the 2 districts. But yeah, and I mean, I imagine it's going to help. I want to throw in some bus lines as well, so I'll get some public transport thrown down, and we'll see how it affects the transport in the area. Okay, this is weird. It seems to allow you to just connect them like that, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe the subway line is just deeper by default. If we press the down key, we drop down to -12, 24. So what are we at there, like -6? I'm really not sure, but it seems to allow it, and I'm just going to go with that. I don't know what's going on here. Just looking at the way that it moves, like look at the way this line moves under the top one, it would suggest that this is significantly higher up. Which is interesting, because isn't that at the lowest, like, or sorry, the highest it can be underground? Who knows? I'm not complaining. I bet this is going to clash, though. Yep, it don't like that. Apparently we can make a very sharp turn. I'm not going to complain. That'll do just fine. And once again, causing an absolute nightmare for me, this thing has clonked out. And if it's going to keep happening, I think I'd be smart, actually, to put these power cables going all the way down the side so we don't have a knock-on effect where, you know, everything drops out all at once. Although apparently I can't, like, bridge that across there. So it's all developing well, and although we don't probably need more parks in this area, over in this bit I was thinking about adding in a few things, and I don't know why, but I like this idea, even though this is of course a residential area mainly, that up the top here we do actually have like an old theme park that was there before, and now this residential area is built up around it. So we've got a Ferris wheel we could chuck in, we have a roller coaster, and a little castle like play area. So I reckon I'm just going to chuck those in and see how it looks. It might look really odd actually once the houses are built up around it, but we'll put a few like commercial buildings down here as well, and hopefully it'll all look good. And by the way, for this area what I'm going to do is the small housing thing again. I really like how that looked, so I'm just going to keep like zoning these out bit by bit all the way down there. Lots of small houses as well, and then we'll probably fill in the area around with trees. So I'm thinking of using this prop as a like a dividing wall, and we're going to segregate like the theme park area and the shops, which are sort of a part of it, from the residential, which is actually going to end up being quite close to it. Thing is, as I was going to place down this prop, I remembered that, of course, they added some new stuff in the vanilla game. Over here, we've got access to walls that are much easier to build. Now that is a little bit too high for my liking. Oh, what happens if you press up and down with this? Like, nothing. Okay. Be cool if you could change the wall height with that. Something like that I don't think would work. This one, yeah, what to go with? Because that just looks, you know, the rundown rubble effect I don't think will work. And this is a little bit high. I think we might end up just going with the high one, you know. It will probably work out. And it might be a little bit tricky to actually build it all. Let's bring you to there and then get you to connect to that. Oh, and it destroys our path. Brilliant. I want to rebuild that. Or maybe we don't even need the path. I don't know. Actually, I think that looks alright. It just needs to have the right sort of distance from the buildings. I just saw a car driving through this forest that I've just put down. By the way, man, I love these trees. They look great. And yeah, this actually leads all the way up here to the park, which kind of looks a little bit odd because there's some greenery going in. Now, there are these shrubs, these things over here, which create big circles, which are pretty good, I imagine, but not for, let's say, the snowy world, so it kind of ended up looking a bit weird. But these walls definitely helped like separate it, and I think these areas over here, I don't want to put those in, but it really does like just highlight it and bring out the wall so much more, and then the wall just kind of like merges in over here. But there you go, we got our little sort of semi-theme park area going on. Actually turned out pretty good. I like it. But that floating car that I saw reminded me of something that was happening the other day. Is it still... Oh my god, it's still happening. Look at this. Now, I don't ever remember there being a road just going across that direction, but this is what they do. They just go that way and make their way. I don't know, do they like reach a destination? Do they like join the road here? They start... Oh my god, they're driving down... It's like GTA. They're driving down the the pedestrians' paths, and then they're getting to this little spot, and they're all just kerfuffling around here, aren't they? And going into that. What is special about this building then? That's a disco stereo. Huh, everyone really likes disco. So this area is now fully developed, and the small houses down here I think look really great. Just makes it feel a lot more populated because you get a lot more buildings side by side. And I think we're going to fill this in area with trees. I'll try and use different ones from these over here. Same down here as well. I was going to add some offices, down the bottom here along the tram line, which is something we don't usually build against, but now that it's all sort of been filled in, it doesn't really feel like it needs it because the demand was growing as I was adding more houses. So yeah, anyway, we said that this area here would be a field. We'll probably leave it like that, so the trees will sort of cut off around here, and maybe I'll fill in this space, I don't know. But I'll figure that out and get that done. And I added a little road just here to do a U-turn, and that's for the buses because I've added in a bus line. So you can see that this thing sort of, yeah, goes down here, turns around, comes back out again. It's a shame it can't turn around on this little section here, although it's good that you can't do turns there because it would be dangerous. And also you can see our subway line over here going through all the areas. It seems like it helped with the traffic a little bit, but it's always kind of hard to measure the impact of such things. So we're sort of doing our final round of changes on this area, and then it's going to be finished. I was about to say, and that is us done. Then I remembered that this stretches on over on that side. Yeah, so just put all those trees in a row. Finish doing the trees in the other area as well. And these are actually parking lots, by the way. You can sort of place the trees in them a little bit, like that, which is odd. And actually some of them are being used here, which is really cool to see. They look so much better when there's cars parked on them. And yeah, that row of trees looks really great down there. Definitely going to finish that, but this area over here has been finished now. It doesn't look too different really. I decided not to go ham with the trees, just put in a few, got some down the coast here, and from up here it just looks really great. I love it. But yeah, this episode has been shorter than usual, and I just feel like we've done what we wanted to do, and it's time to just conclude everything. So yeah, that's it for this one. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like on the video. As always, thank you for your support, and I will see you in the next episode. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.